Harold Frederick Shipman, often referred to as Dr. Death, was one of the most notorious serial killers in British history. His story is a chilling tale of a respected physician whose heinous crimes shattered the trust placed in medical professionals. Here is a detailed account of his life and crimes. Early life and education. Harold Shipman was born on January 14, 1946, in Nottingham, England. He was the second of 3 children in a working-class family. His mother, Vera, was a domineering figure who instilled in him a sense of superiority and a disdain for the working class. When Vera fell ill with lung cancer, Shipman observed her receiving morphine injections, which seemed to ease her suffering. Her death in 1963 deeply affected him and planted the seeds of his later actions. Shipman excelled academically and earned a scholarship to Leeds School of Medicine, where he graduated in 1970. He married Primrose Oxtoby in 1966, and the couple had 4 children. Despite his promising start, Shipman's career was marred by his growing addiction to pethidine, an opioid pain medication, leading to his first encounter with the law. Early career and first offenses. Shipman began his medical career at Pontefract General Infirmary in West Yorkshire, where his colleagues noticed his unusual prescribing habits and erratic behavior. In 1975, he was caught forging prescriptions for pethidine to satisfy his addiction. He was fined, underwent treatment for his addiction, and remarkably, was allowed to continue practicing medicine after a brief suspension. In 1977, Shipman joined a group practice in Hyde, Greater Manchester. He built a reputation as a hard-working and compassionate doctor, particularly attentive to the elderly. However, beneath this facade, he began to exploit his patients' trust. The murders. Shipman's killing spree began in earnest in the 1990s. He primarily targeted elderly women, administering lethal doses of diamorphine, pharmaceutical heroin. He would often visit his victims at home, inject them with the drug, and either stay with them as they died or leave and return later to discover their bodies. Shipman then falsified medical records to indicate that they had been in poor health, masking the true cause of death. His methods were chillingly simple and effective. Shipman chose victims who lived alone, ensuring there would be no immediate witnesses. His medical authority allowed him to falsify death certificates and avoid scrutiny. Over time, his confidence grew, and he began killing with increasing frequency. Discovery and investigation. Shipman's downfall began with the death of Kathleen Grundy, a wealthy widow and former mayor of Hyde, in June 1998. Grundy's daughter, Angela Woodruff, discovered that her mother's will had been altered to leave almost all of her substantial estate to Shipman. Woodruff knew her mother would never have changed her will in such a way and reported her concerns to the police. The investigation into Grundy's death led to the exhumation of her body, revealing lethal levels of diamorphine. This evidence prompted further inquiries, and investigators began to see a pattern of suspicious deaths among Shipman's patients. The scale of the crimes. Police initially struggled to piece together the full extent of Shipman's crimes due to the trust and respect he commanded as a doctor. However, as the investigation widened, they exhumed several more bodies and found high levels of diamorphine in many of them. Additionally, Shipman had falsified medical records to cover his tracks, claiming that his victims had been suffering from terminal illnesses or severe pain, justifying the administration of diamorphine. In total, Shipman was charged with the murders of 15 patients in 1999, although it was later estimated that he might have killed as many as 250 people over his 23-year career. His modus operandi remained consistent throughout. He administered lethal doses of diamorphine, often under the guise of pain relief or sedation, and falsified death certificates to obscure the true cause. Trial and conviction. Harold Shipman's trial began in October 1999 at Preston Crown Court. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence, including medical records, testimony from relatives of the victims, and forensic analysis of exhumed bodies. Shipman, maintaining his innocence, provided no substantial defense and refused to explain why so many of his patients had died under his care. On January 31, 2000, Harold Shipman was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life imprisonment with a recommendation that he never be released. The judge described his actions as evil beyond belief. Death. On January 13, 2004, the day before his 58th birthday, Harold Shipman was found hanged in his cell at Wakefield Prison. His death was ruled a suicide, bringing an end to the life of a man whose trusted position allowed him to carry out a reign of terror masked by a veneer of compassion and care.